column. Column 1 is date, column 2 is football club, column 3 is revenue, column 4 is revenue. Okay, so now my dear friends, can you see this database over here? Can you see this Excel? If you can see, can you type number 6 in the chat box? Risau pula saya yang share screen, but you can't see ke ataupun internet connection slow ke? Of course, to just let you know why I ask you to type number 6 or number 7 ke, because just to make sure that everyone is on the same page, because we are conducting this session virtually secara online. So sometimes the internet connection or I speak too fast ataupun lag ke apa. That's why to make sure everyone on the same page. Alright, so now we have these 4 columns. So the first thing is I want to import this information to Power BI. So what I'll do is I'll go to my Power BI over here. Okay, so this is my Power BI. So Power BI ni dia boleh import data daripada Excel. As you can see here, there is a word called import data from Excel. If just say you don't want to click this, you can actually click over here, Excel workbook. Maksudnya you can also import data from Excel by clicking on this icon. But some of them, they ask me, Alan, you see, if just say my one is not Excel, my one is just say CSV file, you can click get data over here. There is a word called CSV file, comma separated value file. Or you can also choose from the web, whether it's a Google Sheet or whether it is Wikipedia, any internet website. Alright, and if just say my one is not Google Sheet, my one is PDF. So if just say PDF means you can click the more, you click more over here, satu kotak akan keluar. Dalam kotak tu there is a word called PDF. So you can also import from PDF, but make sure the PDF is readable, not a scan copy. Like sometimes when you sign and you scan copy, tak boleh. Dia kena PDF yang boleh baca, can read the table. Okay, so if you look carefully, my source over here is dalam Excel file. It is an Excel file, not PDF, not Notepad, not Google Sheet. It is an Excel file. So since it is an Excel file, what I'll do is I'll click import data over here. Import data from Excel. Why I click this? Because my one is from an Excel file. Bila saya tekan kat sini, anda akan lihat satu kotak akan keluar. So the thing is, you need to know what is your file name, where you save. You save dalam desktop, you save dalam document or download. You need to know where you save. That's a very important thing. So I save in desktop and I save in a folder called 29 June. I click it over here. So my file name is 29 June Excel file. I click this, I press open. When I press open, you will notice another box will appear. Lagi satu kotak akan keluar, which it will show part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Okay, what is this part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4? If you look in my Excel file, in Excel file, we have part 1, we have part 2, we have part 3, we have part 4. So basically, they will ask us which worksheet or which tab you want to choose. I want to choose this table. This table ni terletak kat mana? Table ini terletak dalam part 1. So what I need to do is, I need to select part 1. So you just say I select here, you will notice I am not able to press load. I am not able to press transform. Why? Because I never tick the box. So you tak boleh select saja. You kena tick pada kotak ni. Bila you tick kotak ni, we have load, transform and cancel. Okay, if you remember just now I said Power BI ni boleh buat data cleaning. Data cleaning means it can clean the data. So clean the data will go to transform data. So this one can say a bit advanced, but no worries, in the subsequent part I will show you what is transform data. When you click cancel, it will cancel terus. When you click load, it will automatically load to Power BI desktop. But when you click transform, it will go to Power Query. This one I will show you later. So if just say you have a Power BI, you have an Excel report, you can tick first. Bila you tick, then you go to load. When you go to load, automatically it will load the data to Power BI desktop. So what it will show you is, it will show you what is the file of the file, how many rows. Like for example over here, they will show you 23 rows, how many files and what is the size. Once you tekan load, kamu akan lihat sebelah kanan ni, dia akan tunjuk part 1 and there is a data pane over here. So my friends, can you see this perkataan kat sini? If you can see this, can you type number 7 in the chat box? Nampak tak? Part 1. Alright, so thank you for typing number 7. Okay, so what you need to do is, like how pivot table you can expand, this one also you can expand. So when you expand over here, dia akan tunjuk lah date, football club, revenue items. So some of you will ask me, why they show date, football club, revenue items? Okay, let me show you my Excel file. When I show you my Excel file, in my Excel file, the column header, the header of the column is date, football club, revenue items, revenue. So meaning to say, in your Power BI, over here they will show the header. Okay, they show the header. Tapi kenapa kat sini ada macam calendar? Kenapa kat sini ada mathematic symbol? Okay, in mathematics, we use this as cumulative sign. Why it shows a cumulative sign? Why it shows a calendar? Well, you need to understand the data. You see here, my friends, if you look carefully, this is all date. Date in Malay called tarik. Tarik means kita ada the day, kita ada the bulan, kita ada 2024. This is what they call as date, tarik. So whenever your data is a date, bila data kamu adalah tarik, date, over here you will notice there is a calendar icon. Can you see a calendar icon over here? Nampak ke? If you can see, can you type number 8 in the chat box? Over here there is a calendar icon. Okay, what is this calendar icon? Dia menunjukkan bahawa kolom tersebut, that column is a date column, tarik punya column. Then what is this mathematic cumulative? This one is indicates the column is number. What is number? Let me show you. You see here, football club, revenue items. This one, in English, we call it words. Dia adalah huruf, dia adalah perkataan, or in IT, we use the word text. This is all text. But over here, if you notice, this is all numbers. So, numbers means, automatically, dia akan menunjukkan cumulative sign. Why there's nothing for football club, nothing for revenue items? Because football club ni is a perkataan. Revenue item is a perkataan. That's why tak ada. Okay, then some of them will ask me, okay, now we have this visual kan. So what it will show? You see here, the beauty of Power BI is to produce visual. So for example, when I click over here, there is a visual called clustered column chart. Bila saya tekan kat sini, okay, what I need to do is, of course, over here, bila saya tekan, ada x-axis, y-axis, legend, small multiple. Later, I'll show you what is legend and small multiple. So for example, I just take football club and I'll take revenue. Bila saya tekan football club and revenue, so the x-axis is the football club like Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, and the y-axis is all the amount in revenue. So this is the data as you can see over here. Then what is legend? Okay, just say I take a revenue item. So what you can see is this is basically a legend yang menunjukkan what is broadcasting, others, ticket sales. So just say I choose another one, stack column chart. When I choose stack column chart, it will show like this. When I choose clustered column chart, it appear like this. So basically, the purpose of Power BI is to show visuals. Under visualization, ada banyak jenis visual. So the purpose is to show visual. Some of them will ask me, here you have the word legend. Kat sini ada perkataan legend. What is small multiples? Just say I drag this, I select yang ni, drag letak kat sini. Over here, you will notice this is small multiple. One for ticket sales, broadcasting, others. So this is small multiples. So some of them will ask me, Alan, okay, you see here, you memang ada present. Tapi when I want to share to my manager don't like this white color space, yang ruang putih ni. So how to actually remove the ruang putih? Okay, always remember my friends, in Power BI, one of the most important feature is format your visual. Okay, how I drag boleh je. So you just say, okay, there is a question in the chat box. Thank you for asking the question in the chat box. Please show how you drag. Okay, first thing is you need to use your mouse. Okay, in your mouse, there is a left click and a right click. So use your mouse, tekan left click, click on this. When you click this, then use your mouse, tarik, drag, letak kat sini. Letak over here. So, tahu ni, did I answer your question? Meaning to say, you use your mouse, you drag it over here. If just say lah, like for example, you tak pandai guna mouse. Even I also last time tak pandai guna mouse. What you can do is, you can click on this arrow over here. You click this arrow, this one there's an arrow downwards, you click it, move to. There is a word called move to. You can actually move to small multiple. Macam tu. Boleh je. Either you want to drag also can, or you want to click on this small arrow over here, and then you can move to. Up to you. Okay, so now the question the manager will ask or my client will ask is, I have a ruang putih. How to remove? Okay, kalau macam tu, you jangan risau. Always remember, dalam Power BI, if we want to edit, kita nak tukar warna, kita nak tukar bentuk, we always go to format your visual. As you can see over here, my dear friends, nampak tak kat sini perkataan format your visual? If you can see, can you type number 9 in the chat box? Nombor 9, if you can see, format your visual. So, format your visual, always remember, it is the place where you can tukar warna. It is the place where you can tukar bentuk. It is the place where you can actually change the formatting as well. So, when I click format your visual, my manager don't want the ruang putih. So, I go to small multiple. There is a word called small multiple. I click over here. Here is 2 rows, 2 column. 2 times 2. 2 rows, 2 column. So, maybe I can put 3 rows and 1 column. So that it will appear like this. So that right now, you can see small multiple in 3 different rows, but only 1 column. Or you can also do what? You can put here 1 row and 3 columns. Will be like this. So depending on how you can play around the data. Okay, so this one here, the number of this one is called format your visual. This is where you can actually amend the data, tukar warna. Tukar warna means over here, you see here, we have the word columns. So just say you don't like blue color, you like just say red color. You can click it over here and then you can change color. So you can change over here, maybe red color, like this. So boleh je. Alright, so I'm going to click here. So I'll show you, this one is where you can see the x-axis, y-axis, legend, small multiple. So if just say you want to drag, you can actually click this, drag letak sini. But if just say you tak pandai drag, even last time also I tak pandai. So don't worry, you can click on this arrow here, you can click move to, and you can click over here legends. So it will move to legends over here. But now you see, I move to legend. But now the manager asks, manager tell me, he want to see the numbers. Because here we can see the color, like blue color means broadcasting, orange color means ticket sales. But they want to know the number. How to know the number? Always remember, tukar warna, tukar bentuk, letak format ke, you go to format your visual. This one is very important. You want to change the color, you want to change the bentuk, you go to format your visual. You click it over here. What I want to do is, I want to letak label. Saya nak letakkan nombor label. So kat sini ni ada perkataan data label. So my dear friends, can you type number 1 if you can see the word here data label? Okay, don't type simply number 1. Just type number 1 if you can see data label over here. Nampak ke data label? Okay. So there's a word here data label. So what you need to do is you need to tekan on. Bila you tekan on, over here it will show the numbers like 0.18, 0.16, 0.04. But then your manager will ask, okay, you see here, I don't want 0.18. I want maybe like maybe in thousands. I don't want a million. So you expand. You can expand. You turun bawah. There is a word called value. Meaning to say, bawah ni this is data label kan? This is data label. Bawah ni ada perkataan value. So you go to value. So over value ni we have the word called display units. So display units, instead of showing million, I will try to show in thousands. So I tekan thousands, so it will show me 176, 159, 38,000 and so on. But if just say your manager, because when you share in the projector, because some companies, they will have a physical meeting. Physical meeting, they go to the meeting room, they connect to the projector, project to the screen. When you project to the screen, the numbers you cannot see. So what you can do is, you can actually increase the size to 15. When you increase the size, now the manager can see the number. But then sometimes the manager will ask question, I don't want the K, I want the full number. Like for example, instead of 176K, I want the full number. If you want the full number, what you do is, you go to none. None means there is no display ke apa. So you tekan none, so automatically dia akan tunjuk. So maybe let me just reduce the size. Okay, so just say, over here akan tunjuk. So sometimes if they are too big, it can't show you. So this one they'll show you. That means this one is 175,000, 158,666 and so on. But then again, manager will ask me a question. You see, Ellen, I have already prepared the numbers, but in accounting, we want the comma. Comma means, let me show you. What is comma? So for example here, dalam accounting ni, they don't really record the numbers in a proper format. What they will actually try to do is like 175, you see here, the number here is 175860. So 175860. Accountant, they will actually select 175,860. Okay, so there is a question in the chat box. Thank you Mohan for the question. Okay, the question asks is where to select none. Okay, kalau macam ni, you tengok kat sini ni ada data label. Okay, let me off first. So this is data label. What you need to do is you tekan on. When you on the data label, you scroll down. When you scroll down, kat sini ada value. Ada value ke Mohan? Maybe you can type yes if you can see the value over here. So dalam value ni, you need to go down. There is a word called display unit. If just say you cannot see display unit, under value you have display unit. So what you need to click is you need to click none over here. Can you see this? If you can see, can you type yes again? Okay, got it. Alright, so this one you can do it over here. Alright, so now kita dah tahu dah, okay, that this is the data label. So I'll go back to the topic. You see, sometimes in anyone who works in finance, anyone who works in accounting, they don't really record the numbers in this format. They want to record a number which has the comma over here. Okay, in mathematics, in accounting, we use the word thousand separator. So how to have the thousand separator? Because kalau Excel, just say I open my Excel file, I just select this, and kat sini ni, I can actually click this thousand separator over here. I can click the comma sign so that the numbers are the thousand separator. Tapi Power BI ni macam mana pula? Okay, for Power BI, what you need to do is, you see here, the name of the column is revenue. Revenue is the column yang ada the numbers. So you click on this revenue. When you use your mouse, kan your mouse ada left click, right click kan? Use your mouse and click pada revenue. When you click on the revenue, over here, there is a comma. There is a thing called thousand separator. Can you see this comma over here? If you can see, can you type number 2 in the chat box? Okay, if you can see the comma, you type number 2. Okay, you don't simply type number 2. If you see, you can type. Okay, so now why I'm teaching you this topic? Because you see here, now this one, the number is 175,860. I nak letak macam ini. So how to letak this format? You just tekan kat sini and you tekan pada thousand separator. And just like that, you will notice akan ada comma. So my dear friends, can you see the comma? Alright, so okay, so this you can see. But how about others? Can you type number 3 in the chat box? If you can see, ada tak perubahan? Okay, so now kita dah tahu dah. You see, mine blank out. Okay, maybe you can take a picture and show later ke? Can see. Okay, maybe you can take a picture and show later, Mohan. Alright, so now I'll try to proceed next part. You see, the problem is some managers, they are quite particular because when we prepare a report to stakeholders, to client, they will have a concern on the reporting, on the grammar and so on. So if you see here carefully, the word here is sum of revenue by football club. My manager, he don't like the word sum of revenue. Kalau boleh, dia nak perkataan total revenue. So how to just change this to, I cannot double click. Tapi macam mana saya nak betulkan grammar dia? Instead of sum of revenue, I want to show total sales. So what you do is, you use your mouse, you tekan kepada add data to your visual. This one is for tukar warna, tukar format, everything. The first icon over here, you click it over here. Bila you click over here, what you can do is, you can actually double click. Because here, it shows sum of revenue. So when you double click over here, you can actually change to total sales, or total revenue, up to you. So how I do is, I go to the first icon, I tekan double click, I tunjuk total sales and then tekan enter. Bila you tekan enter, it will show accordingly. Okay, so now this is how you can change the grammar. And then after that, what I'm going to do, let me just expand this. Okay, so from here we can see the performance of Chelsea, United, Liverpool and Arsenal. I'm going to click on another visual. So if you want to click another visual, my suggestion will be, you click on the white color screen. You click on the white color screen and then you can choose any visual you want. So just say if you want a pie chart, you tekan pie chart, so it will pop out over here and then you can tick the revenue items, you tick the revenue. So now it will show you the allocation, the apportionment of the revenue items and its revenue. And if just say you tak suka pie chart, you can actually pilih donut chart. This is donut chart. If you don't like donut chart, you can actually pilih tree map. So tree map also is another visual. So normally for stock market, anyone who works in a bank, anyone who works in this investment market, so stock market normally they will record the indices, the industry in this format. So tree map is normally famous for those who kerja dalam investment industry. So if you say you don't like the tree map, you can actually choose table. Okay, my dear friends, nampak tak kat sini ada perkataan table? Okay, if you nampak, can you type number 4 in the chat box? So, Power BI ni ada banyak jenis visual. So, you click on this table format, it will show you in table format. If you tak suka table, you want in this format, clustered bar chart, this is clustered bar chart. If you want clustered column, this is clustered column. So meaning to say Power BI has many interesting visuals that you can actually play around. And of course, just say you want to put a title over here. Over here, we have a word called text box. So my friends, can you see ada tak perkataan text box kat sini? If you can see, can you type number 5 in the chat box? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a text box over here. So text box is, I'm going to click it over here. And I'm going to draw here. And put it over here so that this will be the title, and maybe you want to put the revenue performance of football clubs. Okay, if you notice carefully, this one small letter, my manager cannot see the words, so I need to highlight all the words, and kat sini I boleh tukar tulisan dia, maybe to 24 or maybe to 36. I can actually make it bigger. I can also middle align. And if just say saya nak tukar warna, because I don't want the white color background, you can go to format text box. Always remember, this one is to tukar warna. Format text box, there is a word called effects. So over here, in the effects kat sini ni, here there is a word called effects. So you can actually change color. So just say I want to change to blue color. So you have blue color. And if you want to tukar the font color, over here we have font color. So you can change this to white color. And there you go. So you can change this. So this one maybe I put dark blue. Ikut you lah. You want to choose any color, up to you. So this is the data. This is actually the report. So now the thing is, there is also a keyboard shortcut in Power BI. So if you look in your keyboard, there is a control button. Normally, if you have MacBook, Dell, HP, every keyboard will have a control button. So just say I press Ctrl P. Okay. So please repeat which one. Repeat this text box ke? Can you tell me, Tawamni, which one you want me to repeat? The text box or the color? Maybe you can just type. Or you want to unmute also can. Okay, maybe I'll just repeat this text box one more time lah. Okay, so I'll just remove this. Okay, so now how you get the revenue performance table? Okay, boleh je. It's not a table. It's basically a text box. If you see over here, there is an icon called text box. So what I do is, I tekan pada text box. I tekan kat sini, and then over here you can write revenue performance report. Okay, depends lah. What is your title? Maybe you want to put revenue performance of football club and so on. What is the English? You can decide. Your manager can decide and so on. So you can just adjust accordingly. Okay, so Taumani, are you referring to this? If you are referring to this, maybe can you type yes in the chat box? How I click this is text box over here. Okay, so now of course you can't see because just say you tunjuk kat manager tak nampak kan. So you can just press Ctrl A. So it will highlight everything. Then you can increase the size, maybe to 36 ke or 40 ke, which one is relevant lah. Okay, and then you want to put middle, bold, ikut kamu. And if you want to tukar warna, over here we have effect. So effect ni kita boleh tukar warna. You can change the color, like maybe blue color ke. And if you want to tukar warna pun, kat sini pun boleh tukar warna. Maybe white color ke, ikut you. Which one you rasa professional, you can change accordingly. So here we have a title. Here we do have the charts showing the allocation and so on. So now the next thing that I want to show to you is basically, I want to show is Ctrl P. In your keyboard, there is a control button. And there is also a button called P. P for Penang, P for percentage. So you just press Ctrl P. When you press Ctrl P, you will notice what happen is it will export to a PDF format. When you press Ctrl P, dia akan export to PDF format. So this one is the output that you can share to your manager, because your manager don't want to see the Power BI. He wants to see these figures only. So from here, your manager can understand what is the title, what is the allocation, and what's the performance and so on. Okay, so my dear friends, did you learn something? If you learned something, can you type number 5 in the chat box?